we are at the Westchester County Center. Hey, Philip.
Hello.
We just saw Marty Grabstein. Today's a big day. Philip is meeting the voice of Courage the Cowardly Dog. It's been a lifelong dream of his. We actually mentioned it in our episode of Nostalgic Depression, which is why we're filming this on location, because we're going to use it as we recap Nostalgic Depression. So we're going to walk around, we're going to film some footage, say hey.
Hey.
And we hope you guys enjoy it. It's really important that you guys know that even when you have a mental illness like schizoaffective, it took Philip so much courage to come out here today and do this. So it's really important. I'm sure you can hear the people screaming in the background. There are tables with celebrities and stuff, so it's pretty cool. So we're going to film some footage. We'll throw up some videos and photos at the end of our episode. Take care. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye. Hi guys, and welcome back to Navigating the Periphery. My name is Deborah, and this, as always, is my son Philip.
Hello.
As you saw from our opening, we shot some of this episode at Comic-Con here in Westchester, New York. And we will post more footage at the end of the episode. We hope you enjoy it. So, how is everyone doing today? If you're into what we're doing on this channel, you guys know what to do. We want to try to get our message out there and try to reach and help as many people as we can. Navigating the Periphery, we are trying to stop the stigma of a mental health diagnosis one show at a time. Also, if you know anyone who could benefit from watching this channel, please help spread the word.
Remember, it's okay not to feel or be okay all the time. You are not alone. We're here.
So, Philip, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great today, Mom. How are you doing?
I am doing great, and I'm excited to discuss today's topic. But first, I would like to give a bit of a disclaimer here. We are not medical professionals.
No, we are not. Our channel is for informational and education purposes only. And I'm speaking to you guys out there from my personal life experience with OCD, GAD, and schizoaffective bipolar type.
Yes, please refer to our full disclaimer at the end of this and every episode that we put out.
So, Mom, take it away.
Today, we are going to sort of re-navigate the periphery of nostalgia and how sometimes it can be a painful thing. Our Nostalgic Depression episode, which is episode 16, got a lot of views, and we believe it's because everyone can relate to nostalgic depression. We will leave a link to that episode in the description box below.
Recently, my mom and I went to a Comic-Con here in New York, which you could see at the beginning of this episode. As I discussed in our last episode on Nostalgic Depression, I discussed one of my favorite shows growing up called Courage the Cowardly Dog. It is a horror/comedy themed cartoon about a dog who has serious anxiety and how he desperately tries to protect his owner Muriel. At this Comic-Con, I had a chance to meet the actor who voiced Courage, Marty Grabstein. And for my 26th birthday, my mom made that dream a reality. I not only got to meet him and take photos with him, I got to tell him my story and how his work and courage helped me cope with my own anxiety prior to being diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder bipolar type. And I have to say, he was an amazing person. And it's a moment that meant a lot to me and will impact me going forward. However, it was also a bit painful because it brought me back to a time before my life was affected by complex mental illness. At the end of this episode, I will share some more footage of Comic-Con.
Nostalgia often reminds people of a past that no longer exists. This can highlight the changes and losses that have occurred over time, such as the loss of loved ones, changes in personal circumstances, such as being diagnosed with a mental health issue, or the passing of a particular life stage. People often remember the past in an idealized way, focusing on positive memories while overlooking negative aspects. This can make the present seem less fulfilling by comparison, leading to feelings of dissatisfaction or longing for a better time. Nostalgia can bring to the surface dreams and aspirations that were never realized. This can be a reminder of missed opportunities or paths not taken, causing regret, depression, or sadness. Nostalgic memories are often tied to strong emotions, which can resurface with great intensity. This can be overwhelming and painful, especially if those emotions are tied to significant or traumatic events. Excessive nostalgia can lead to a disconnection from the present, making it difficult for individuals to fully engage with and appreciate their current lives. This disconnection can result in a sense of alienation or loneliness. Reflecting on the past can lead to comparisons between then and now, which at times can be unhealthy. If individuals perceive that their current selves or lives are lacking in some way compared to their past, this can lead to feelings of inadequacy, disappointment, and depression.
Reflecting on my life before my diagnosis of mental illness is a very complex and emotional journey for me. It brings me back to when my life was more normal, which is very upsetting to me at times. Nostalgia refers to those wistful, sentimental feelings when you recall significant past experiences. Nostalgia usually generates happy feelings, optimism, a sense of purpose or meaning in life, and social connection. However, there may be a drawback as well, such as an unpleasant bite and an enduring aftertaste. I find this happens to me a lot, whether it's playing old video games, watching old TV shows and movies from my childhood. It brings me back to a time when I didn't have schizoaffective disorder, and life was more normal. Oftentimes, it gets me down, and I could slip into bouts of depression because of it.
Like we stated in our last episode on this topic, normally I can see when this starts to evolve and happen because I know my son and his behaviors very well. I can see when he's playing, say, Pokemon or a PlayStation game, that he's yearning to go back to that time in his life. And it's very normal to do this. We all do this from time to time. Whether it's visiting, say, a store or a bakery from your childhood and remembering a certain pastry or food, and eating it as an adult can bring you right back to that certain time in your life or make you remember a certain event like you experienced it yesterday. However, for Philip, this can be very upsetting and cause anxiety, panic, depression, and even a mania-type episode.
Recent studies suggest that people may focus on negative memories when experiencing nostalgia. They can exclude positive aspects of the same memories. If a person perceives their past as happier than their present, they may feel emotional distress. This may then lead to symptoms of depression. Researchers investigated nostalgia in a 2020 scholarly article called Nostalgia and Well-Being in Daily Life: An Ecological Validity Perspective. I'll leave the link to that interesting article in the description box below. It showed that nostalgia may make people more likely to experience depression. They also found nostalgia could cause individuals to have negative thoughts even after a pleasant experience. These negative thoughts could make a person more likely to think about the past and experience more nostalgia. This could lead to more negative thoughts, causing a cycle of nostalgia and depression.
So you guys may wonder, then what is the upside of nostalgia? Nostalgia does have many positive functions and upsides. It can improve a person's mood, strengthen someone's sense of meaning in life, increase a person's self-continuity, or their sense of connection between their past and present selves. Nostalgia can provide a sense of comfort during difficult times. Recalling positive memories can help soothe anxiety, reduce stress, and improve mood by reminding individuals of happy and secure moments in their lives. Nostalgia can serve as an effective coping mechanism during times of transition or stress. It allows individuals to draw strength from their past experiences, helping them to navigate current challenges with greater resilience. Most studies into nostalgia have found that it can have a lot of positive effects.
However, it can also increase negative effects, including sadness. Some studies also found that nostalgia could lead people to worry and ruminate more. Rumination is when a person repeatedly thinks about or dwells on negative feelings and their causes and consequences. People also often may experience these feelings the following day after feeling nostalgic. Either way, this can be detrimental for someone like me who has schizoaffective bipolar disorder, or someone suffering with anxiety or depression in general. It's easy to harbor regrets or frustrations about how things were and how they were handled before knowing what you were up against, for me. That being my schizoaffective disorder diagnosis. It's important to try to use your reflections as a foundation for growth and healing. Understanding your past through the lens of your diagnosis can empower you to make informed decisions about your well-being and future. But this can be extremely difficult for me.
As I have spoken in the past, as a parent, it's very upsetting to watch your child struggle and not be able to help or relieve that feeling of struggling. I cannot bring Philip back to before he was diagnosed. I wish I could. There is a term for this, and it's called nostalgic depression. Experts don't consider nostalgic depression a specific subtype of depression, nor is it a clinical term you would find in diagnostic manuals like the DSM-5. But the concept combines elements of nostalgia and depressive feelings, offering a lens through which some people might interpret their emotional experiences.
So to recap, nostalgia, traditionally considered a longing for the past, can evoke both positive and negative emotions. When these reflections lead to or exacerbate feelings of sadness, loneliness, or depression, the term nostalgic depression might be used in casual or non-clinical discussions to describe this state, and people who suffer from complex mental illness like myself. It may have a more negative effect.
Now, normally if you're suffering with nostalgic depression, there are things you can do to help alleviate those feelings. Make an effort to connect with important people from your past and your present life. Besides giving you an opportunity to catch up with what's happening with each other, you can reminisce about good times that you've had together. Nostalgia is more likely to remain healthy when it is shared, whether it's face-to-face, in person, or via social media. When nostalgic memories and interests are shared, feelings of belonging are fostered, along with greater optimism and positive self-esteem.
However, sometimes I can't and don't relate to this. See, before I was diagnosed, I went to college on campus. I had friends, and I did very normal things and activities. During the pandemic, and right as I was diagnosed, things changed for me. I wasn't able to socialize really. I was in psychosis. I no longer saw friends on campus because I then went to online classes due to my symptoms, the paranoia and hypervigilance. So it's easy to say that to alleviate the nostalgic depression, to make an effort to connect with important people from your past and your present life. But for someone with schizophrenia or schizoaffective, that task is not an easy one. Plus, when some friends found out I was ill and what I was diagnosed with, they no longer wanted to be friends with me, which was hurtful and difficult. I'm sure some of you can relate to this.
As a parent, it's very hard to watch all of this occurring and knowing There's nothing I can do about it. When your child hurts, you hurt. Sometimes even more.
The symptoms of nostalgic depression are similar to those of other forms of depression. Nostalgic depression can be accompanied by sadness, despair, or regret. Sometimes feelings of loneliness, loss, or social isolation and loss of interest in activities you enjoy. Now we discussed these types of feelings in episode 12 on anhedonia because those symptoms are very similar. I will link that episode in the description box below as well. Also, these feelings can be accompanied by feelings of pessimism or hopelessness.
Depression that accompanies nostalgia can lead a person to retreat from social events and interactions, which can perpetuate that vicious cycle we mentioned before. They may begin feeling social anxiety and prefer to spend more time alone. It's important to put the potential risks of nostalgic depression in perspective because for many, nostalgia can be healthy and beneficial. Reminiscing about pleasant memories from the past can improve your mood and stimulate inspiration and motivation. Nostalgia can provide you with a greater sense of meaning in your life. I do try to point this out to Philip from time to time, and the great memories that can make him feel good and hopeful.
And at times I do feel good and hopeful for the future, especially now that I'm very stable in my current medication regimen. This channel has definitely aided in that happiness, but it is still extremely difficult and hard because some days I do get caught up in that what could have been, or how my life was before I was diagnosed, and it just makes me depressed and sad.
Revisiting a happy or healthy period from the past can offer you hope for a brighter future by reminding you that what was possible before can be possible again. By reminding yourself that the younger you who bravely stood up for what you believed in, or the you who dared to try a new sport or tackle difficult challenges, is the same person that you are today. That you can summon the courage to face daunting situations or help you realign or reassess your current priorities. Using lessons learned in the past can help us solve problems in the present. I mean, we all have issues, anxieties, and become more depressed over nostalgic things or what could have been. It's important that we try to keep moving and move forward.
I can agree. This is very important to try and do. But for people like me, or any of you guys out there diagnosed with schizoaffective, or any other mental health issue, I know this can be difficult. So try not to be hard on yourself. Be kind to yourself. And remember that your value is not diminished by your diagnosis or the challenges you face because of it. Remembering a time before your diagnosis can bring both pain and comfort. It's important to acknowledge these feelings without letting them define your entire narrative. Your journey through mental health challenges is a part of you, but it's not the entirety of your identity or future. With time, support, and self-compassion, many find a way to integrate your diagnosis into a fulfilling life, discovering resilience and strength they may not have known they had. It's a deeply personal process, and there's no right or wrong way to feel or heal. We will have more footage of our visit to Comic-Con here at the end of this episode. Please remember this, and also remember, it's okay not to feel or be okay all the time. You are not alone. We're here.
Thank you so much for joining us for today's episode of Navigating the Periphery, where we're trying to stop the stigma of a mental health diagnosis one show at a time.
So until we see you again in our next episode, take care.
Yes, take care. We will see you in our next episode coming really soon. Enjoy the footage, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
It's just a little bit of footage so you guys can see what we're doing.
You guys are officially...
Okay, this is video of the whole Comic-Con. You can see people in costumes. And Philip. Hi guys. I want to talk about how proud I am of Philip today. He used a lot of coping strategies to deal with the crowd, and he did really well. So I'm really proud of him. Hope you all have a great day, and we'll let you know how it goes after, and we'll post some pictures. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.